Before tonight's much-anticipated interview, Not in Your Side sat down with members of Tucson's transgender community. Some are further along in their gender transitions than others. Not in Your Side's Justin Schecker is here with a story you will see only on 9.
I think that people, if they don't feel that they know somebody who is transgender, they are either afraid of it or very skeptical of it. And the truth is, it's really not that much different than you are.
Donnie began his transition in his early 30s.
There's been a pretty distinct change over the past few years since I started taking hormones, in the way that my voice sounds and the way that my face looks. So I'd like to follow that path. I've been very lucky because I work in theater. So I'm usually around open-minded people, and I've got a very great open-minded family.
Meet 52-year-old Michael Woodward.
I spent 36 years trying to live in a female body that I was really uncomfortable in.
Now he's an advocate for Tucson's transgender community. Woodward is on the board of directors for SAGA, the Southern Arizona Gender Alliance.
We're mostly about support and education, too. Support in that we have several support groups for folks who identify as trans or think they might be trans.
SAGA provides resources for relatives.
My son, as young as 2 years old, I can remember telling me that I'm not a girl, I'm a boy.
Like Yola Gomez, who's raising an 11-year-old transgender son.
And when it comes to a gender non-binary or LGBT children, believing them could mean the difference between life and death. And I would say believe your child.
As 9 on Your Side has learned, a transition is much more than a physical transformation.
Next month it will be my 8th Abby anniversary, as I call it.
Both Abby and Aaron had their names and identity documents legally changed.
Once you get to that point, I mean, that's an amazing validation of who you are, to be able to say, hey, the government recognizes me. This is my name. This is my gender. You know, please be respectful.
Don't regret having made the decision when I did it, although I wish I had done it 10 years or 40 years earlier. And when I got my driver's license, it was like, okay, this is now me, officially. SeaWorld, I exist.
Changing his birth certificate and forms of ID is on Donnie's to-do list down the road.
And you're pleased with where you are so far?
I'm in a rush. I mean, who isn't in a rush to get exactly what I want? But I'm at the point where when I wake up in the morning and I stumble into the bathroom half asleep and I see my face in the mirror, it finally looks more like me than I've ever seen before. So it feels pretty good.
And if anyone wants to learn more about the Southern Arizona Gender Alliance and its resources, you'll find a link to SAGA's website with this story on KGUN-9.com.
And Justin, all those people you interviewed, how did their families initially react to all of this?
Well, Abby, who you just saw 8 years into her transition, so the family had a mixed response. 3 daughters have all been accepting. Mother, she's still in touch with, but an older brother hasn't spoken to her in 8 years since announcing the transition.
Okay. How much could tonight's interview do for the transgender community?
I just want to read a quote from Abby, who we also just saw, basically saying that every time somebody of notoriety comes out, it opens the door for a little bit further to final acceptance. So I was just seeing the fallout from tonight, but it was definitely an emotional and very thorough interview that covered a lot about this topic, which we don't often talk about.
And the reason why he did it, too. All right, Justin, thank you very much.